If you listen and enjoy our show, we're in the middle of a fundraising drive. So if you could go to thebillshow.net, go and press the patron button, you can sponsor us. And that would help pay for stuff. Click the patron button. You'll be glad you did. You'll get a nice warm feeling down in the bottom of the cockles of your heart. And now, on with the show.
Hello, it's Bernie here. Evidently, Bill and Randy want me to tell you people that you shouldn't listen to the show at work or in front of kids because they're swearing. Swearing in the show. There's a few fucks, a few shits, and some words I can't even pronounce. And I'm almost sure that they are drunk, but they're still not part of the 2%. What are they going to play now? Loud music? Jesus, I don't need this crap.
That government by organized money is just as dangerous as government by organized mob.
That the greatness of America is the right to protest far right.
And now recorded live from the palatial yet not overly ostentatious Bill Show studios, high atop their mountain lair, it's the Bill Show. And now here's Bill and Randy. Hello, Randy.
Hello, Willie. Long time no talk. How are you?
Yeah, well, it's been a while. I'm all right.
Well, it
I'm
hasn't been
okay.
that long. We did the debate show last week, didn't we?
Yeah, we did a debate show. I listened to that, you know.
Yeah.
I did. I listened to it, and I thought to myself, God, I swear a lot.
You swear too much.
I have a potty mouth. I really do.
Yeah, total S-bend. Yeah, it's really happening.
I'm gonna try to not to swear
Oh,
today
Bill.
on the show. No.
Fuck,
no.
it really doesn't matter.
I mean, other than the swearing I've already done in the intro, the Bernie Sanders intro that I did.
Does Bernie Sanders swear?
There's a few fucks, a few shits. See, there it was. I did it
Are
again.
they going to play loud music?
Yeah. So welcome to the Bill Show. It's 238. 238.
This is show 238, yeah.
Yeah, it is 238. And as you know, we like to keep our abreast of American politics. We've been doing this for about...
Keep both breasts.
Yes, that too. In a juvenile way.
Yeah.
We're keeping abreast of American politics, ladies and gentlemen. And
I just thought of Ivanka just then.
you thought of Ivanka.
Yeah.
Oh, great. All right. A lot of things have been happening,
Yeah.
and we thought we'd talk about a few of them and a few things that I found out and I thought I'd share with you. And
What'd you find out? What'd you find out?
Well, so let's see. What did I find out? I did some research this week about Bernie Sanders and MSNBC, and there's some interesting stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be very, very interesting to maybe some of the people out there. We also have a story about. We're going to talk a little bit about. We're going to talk about Joe Biden.
Oh, creepy Joe.
Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the Wilford Brimley. He is.
He's just the gift that just keeps stealing from you.
Yeah, well, it's just basically, as I said before, there's a reason he never won.
He's run 3 times for president. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we're going to just mosey down the memory lane with an example of a couple of editorials, one that appeared in New York Magazine and the other one that appeared in the Washington Post regarding the prejudice against Bernie in the mainstream media. But before we start, ladies and gentlemen, we have one person that we want to talk about today.
Who's that?
Jeffery Epstein.
Is he Jewish?
That's all, folks.
Yes. What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know.
Epstein is Jewish.
I know a few Epsteins.
Okay, Jeffrey Epstein. Evidently, we did a show like 2 weeks ago, in which we sat there saying, "Look, there was a case against Donald Trump for statutory rape of a 14-year-old girl in the early 90s.
Procured by Jeffrey Epstein.
procured by Jeffrey Epstein.
And assaulted in his home.
That's correct. In New York City.
Yeah.
And we talked about the fact that Jeffrey probably has some shit on Donnie.
Oh, you think?
You think?
Video and stereo and
stereo and him. I'll tell you, Jeffrey and Epstein and Vladimir Putin should get together for a video night.
Yeah. Well, they can't. They can't anymore because Epstein.
Because one of them is
allegedly topped himself.
Allegedly.
I love that word.
Allegedly topped. Allegedly. I'll tell you, Randy.
What?
I'm no genius, but I've seen episodes of Murder, She Wrote, and I can figure this one out.
Yeah. Just like, Angela Lansbury, you're the best, yeah?
Yeah, Jessica Fletcher would be on that island in a second, and she would have this figured out by the first half hour.
And who was the policeman, the guy from Happy Days?
The policeman.
Yeah.
The guy from Happy Days. Oh, was he a policeman or Jessica Fletcher?
The dad. Oh, what's his name?
Oh, who cares? Oh. I'm talking about Jeffrey Epstein.
I thought you were talking about Jessica Fletcher and.
I was making a humorous comparison.
Okay. Between you and her, I think you'd make a great Angela Lansbury.
I would. This came in this week in the. We're going to put it in the frightfully obvious file. This is from the. From British press, the British Inquisitor or Telegraph. I think it's the Telegraph.
Yeah,
or the
Daily Mail. Yeah, Daily Mail.
Daily Mail. No, it was Telegraph. Had this in their stories. Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell boasted of collecting compromising material on the rich and famous. No shit. Really? What a surprise. James Stewart, a business correspondent for the New York Times, also reported on Tuesday details of a strange meeting with Epstein in August 2018. Oh, tell me more.
Yeah.
Conducted off the record amid rumors that Epstein was advising Elon Musk on Tesla.
Oh.
And he said, Stewart wrote, the overriding impression I took away from our roughly 90-minute conversation was that Mr. Epstein knew an astonishingly large number of rich, famous, and powerful people and had the photos to prove it.
Yeah. Photos with them or photos with them and somebody else. Yeah.
He also claims to know a great deal about these people. Some of it potentially damaging and embarrassing, including details about their supposed sexual proclivities and recreational drug use. This is a guy from the New York Times. This is me, all right? Yeah. Stewart described Epstein, who was convicted of procuring minors for prostitution in 2007, but dodged federal charges and only served 13-month sentence, as unapologetic. His very notoriety, he said, was what made so many people willing to confide in him.
Yeah.
Everyone, he suggested, has secrets, he added, compared with his own.
Yeah.
They seemed innocuous. People confided in him without feeling awkward or embarrassed.
Can you say proclivity again?
Proclivity. Proclivity. This struck me as funny too, or funny in a very deeply.
I'd strike you first. Yeah.
Yes, you would. But this struck me even more funny. Stewart noted how the door to Epstein's palatial home in New York was opened by a young girl, a teenager in her early 20s, with an Eastern European accent. Given Mr. Epstein's past, this struck me as far too close to the line. Epstein later contacted Stewart to invite him for a dinner with Woody Allen. And guess who else filled it in that little thing? Oh, yeah. The author Michael Wolff and Donald Trump's former advisor, Steve Bannon.
Oh. I wonder if he's ever got his skincare products off the ground.
That's a great bunch to have a dinner with, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
And who was the main course? This little
I
girl
can
with
only
the-
eat certain things on Tuesday. And, I'm very glad that he invited me over. Sometimes later on, we're going to watch Manhattan. Just the early bits where I date a high schooler. Yeah. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
We live in a funny world.
Well, and you make it all the more funny, Bill.
Yeah, funny, strange, man. If that wasn't, by the way, he was off. That's my vote. What do you think?
That somebody murdered him.
Oh,
Well-
or set it up that
Yeah, well, I mean, he was.
he
The
might have committed
cameras
suicide.
were off. The cameras were off.
Well,
The guards were looking the other way, or hadn't checked on him in days, or whatever.
I think there's a tape of the guards, and it starts with, "Hey, over there!
Yeah.
What do you want, knucklehead? Have you checked the cell yet?" Woo, 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 woo.
Yeah.
Those are the guards.
And they sent in a monkey that stole the keys, and then they had to chase the monkey.
Hey, knucklehead, have you checked Epstein's cell? Certainly. He must have been tired. Here are the bed sheets out. What did you say? Get over here. Yes.
Most
Anyway,
of our listeners don't know who the Three Stooges are.
Oh, you got to know the Stooges, man.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you people? Come on. Listen, hey, did you hear the next story we have is, of course, Trump wants to buy Greenland.
Yeah, because he would be a different color there.
I opened the. I did. Seriously, this is what we do here in Australia. We open up the paper to figure out what kind of crazy ass shit.
We've got crazy ass shit here too.
We got no. This is minor league crazy ass shit.
Yeah.
Waiting for Donald to open his mouth on a daily basis, and you get the Australian, and you got an Australian thing. It's like, what did he do now? Oh, and it's like, oh, he wants to buy Greenland, the country, and evidently, yes, he does.
Denmark would just be dying laughing.
Well, Denmark says they're not interested, but come by, really.
Yeah.
There are about 15,000 people there. But the reason he actually does want to do it is because the permafrost is melting.
Yeah, and it'll be prime real estate.
And all the suicidal nutcases who don't believe in climate change or global warming really do believe in climate change and global warming. And they're actually psychotic enough
To buy real estate in Greenland.
to want to go up to Greenland and drill for more oil so they can burn it and and hasten the end of the world.
Did you know that they also have the world's oldest invertebrates in the waters there?
Yeah.
They caught a shark that they reckon was swimming when Shakespeare was writing.
Was he a character actor in Happy Days?
No. They're just these enormous sharks.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
You think I'm kidding? No, stop
No,
it. Yeah. And these sharks live in Greenland, and
they do.
are really old.
They're old sharks.
Yeah.
I think Trump wants the sharks. It's possible.
I don't know.
Did you know that Joe Biden, you know who he is, right?
Creepy Joe.
I'll call him Creepy Joe. He's not.
Yeah. Shoeless Joe
He's
from
not
Baltimore.
creepy.
Yeah.
He's not a creepy guy. He's like your granddad.
Grab him by
He's a
the
bit
pussy
senile.
and the titties.
Oh, cut out. That is just awful that you say things like that.
The guy's losing it. I think white kids are just as smart as dumb poor kids. Or
Really?
That's what he said. That's what he said.
Well, Joe Biden has been on the gaff machine again, and here he is.
Did he misspoke? Do you think he misspoke? What did he mean to say?
I don't know. Let's have a listen to the gaff.
Cam
ladies and
ladies
gentlemen-
sing this song, doo-dah, doo-dah. What was he?
That's
what did he
absolutely
want to
true.
say?
Okay, so this is what Joe Biden said on the trail in Iowa.
Yeah.
This last week. So here's Joe Biden. Brilliant.
We should challenge students in these schools to have advanced placement programs in these schools. We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Wealthy kids, black kids, Asian kids. No, I really mean it, but think how we think about it.
Yeah, black kids, white kids, dogs, cats.
He really tried to dig himself out of that hole.
I don't know what it is. A table, chair. Joe, how old is it?
Dumb kids are just as smart as white kids.
I love how he goes. I love the desperate word association shit at the end.
Well, he was trying to. His train of thought had come off the rails, killed hundreds of people at the station, and he was still driving it.
Yeah, well, I tell you, man, with Joe Biden, I've seen a few articles recently where they're talking about, maybe he's kind of past it, you know, and I'm just going, no, that's Joe Biden. That's what he does.
Yeah. He's got a bad case of Baltimore crabs.
This is yes. There's a reason why political advisors and staffers, would wish people to be on Joe Biden's staff as a punishment. Because they have.
But why is he running for a third time? Is he think name recognition will get him in?
No, because the centrist Democrats have to have somebody to sell. Look at the other centrist Democrats; they're all falling away. And Joe Biden has the advantage of being the former vice president of the United States. That has some kudos. So they're trying to ride Obama's coattails. There was a story on TYT recently that even Obama wasn't all that crazy about Biden running. No. Because he does have problems as a candidate. Now, you happen to hate him with a passion. I don't. But I don't
hate him.
But I know. You do.
I don't care.
I've listened to last show. Care. You hate him. You do.
Creepy Joe.
You can't call him creepy. He's not creepy.
Well, he just feels up people when he's touchy-feely.
He's touchy-feely. But, he's a different guy from a different time. Comparing him to anything that Trump has even thought, let alone done. It's for me, it does nothing. Anyway, Joe Biden, yes, that's where the centrist Democrats are putting their hopes and for the nation. Feel good about that, America. Now, listen, one of the things that I wanted to do in my bit was also talk a little bit about our new segment, which we're doing right now.
A new segment?
This is a new segment. It's called,
okay.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Get the trumpets.
Bring the,
Yeah, this is it. Rat fucking Bernie. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen.
I hate it when they say rat fucking because anyway, go on.
Rat effing Bernie, folks. Bernie Sanders has taken a bit of a I don't know. He's taken umbrage with the Washington Post, with the coverage that the Washington Post has bestowed on him recently. Not to mention the lovely people over at MSNBC. Now, the absolute reaction from both MSNBC, the Washington Post, the New York Times was, how dare you even think that we'd ever be prejudiced at all against Bernie Sanders? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I thought I'd have a close look and find out if there was anything to that, even though I was laughing all the way because, of course, I watch things and I can tell you there is. But one thing to frame this, let's put this in perspective. This came out just the other day. One poll of the all-important Iowa caucuses by the little-known pollster Change Research, which conducts its surveys online, put Warren 11 points in front of Biden. The YouGov Economist poll this year that just came out, YouGov Economist poll this week, Biden was the first choice of 21%. Second was Warren at 20%. So those are the new polls. The new polls are coming out after the last debate, and both Warren and Sanders have gained. Okay,
And Biden
has gone down for many reasons. Among being the guy can't chew gum and talk. It's a problem.
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, he's just a poor white black dumb guy. Yeah.
Oh, come on, man. Somebody should buy him a yacht. You know, really. Can't you see Joe with those sunglasses on a yacht somewhere? That's where he really should be, because he can't do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to listen. Sanders was told that there is absolutely no bias. I would like to run a clip for you. One of my favorite biases is MSNBC, the supposed left-wing news network, which is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. Yes, MSNBC, that bastion of progressive thought. Let's hear some of the ways in which Bernie...
Well, they have Rachel Maddow. They've got her.
I have something to say about Rachel's recent behavior as well. So this is actually a set of stuff recorded off MSNBC, the way in which Bernie has been covered there. It's quite enlightening. Here it is on the Bill Show, 238.
Can I bring up the donkey in the room?
Bernie?
No.
Bernie Sanders makes my skin crawl.
But Sanders fading is a bigger story than people give him credit for.
The previous set of numbers about Kamala Harris seems to suggest that Bernie bros are actually a real thing.
He's just waving his arms around, talking about revolution and all. Where we are going, we won't need roads. I mean,
one of the things I always hear from folks who aren't necessarily on the Bernie bus, so to speak, is that he's not really a Democrat.
I saw Bernie Sanders trying to raise money off of it. Yeah, my timeline's going to be on fire. But I thought it was horrible.
And do you see any crossover, at least in those who are at his events, who kind of look and sound like Trump supporters? When you say he attracts those who feel like they're struggling to be heard and get their bills paid and their voices heard, that sounds like a Trump voter.
I see him as sort of a not pro-woman candidate.
And some people say that you heard Hillary Clinton's candidacy.
Bernie Sanders has done nothing between 2016 and today to expand his base, to expand his policies.
He seemed like a socialist from the 1950s yelling at people in the same screechy voice, without smiling, without any kind of personal connection.
Bernie Sanders has been talking about these same policies essentially since he's been in public service for the past 25, 30 years, but he actually hasn't done anything to pass them, right? He's talked a lot about them, but we have not seen any of these policies signed into law.
What happened with Hillary and what's his name?
Exactly.
You would take the risk.
I am excited.
Donald Trump
are you asking that of every candidate?
He's also saying the same thing he said in 2016 this time around. I think that's not working.
That's exactly the point I was going to make. I think he kind of got lost in the shuffle. Other people have kind of taken those issues away from him, and he looked like the angry man in the center of the stage saying, "Get off my lawn."
I think he comes off as mean. I think he's disparaging.
A socialist candidate is more dangerous to this country as far as the strength and well-being of our country than Donald Trump. I would vote for Donald Trump, a despicable human being.
No, you won't.
Let me tell you something.
Stop yourself.
Feel like I've been raped.
Isn't that nice?
No, they're not biased.
No. And they still don't understand what they're saying. They still don't understand.
Oh, they understand what they're saying, man. They damn well understand what they're saying. Believe me, they know what they're saying. The orders have come down over at MSNBC.
From where? From whom?
Well, the owners of MSNBC. And I think it is, it's not Comcast. What is it? AT&T? All of these media corporations are owned by Fox. You got Comcast, you got Disney, you got AT&T. They don't want fucking Bernie Sanders getting in the way of their profits. He's going after rich people. What the hell are you talking about? But, you know, what amazes me is how these guys have the absolute gall to talk about the fact that they are not prejudiced when it is so fucking obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, geez, what are you going to believe? Your eyes are me.
Yeah.
You know, it's terrible. Now, this was Katie Helper actually came up with another article because, you know, when Bernie came out with this, a lot of people just said, you know something? I think that's true. This is Katie Helper, who wrote an article. I think from New York, not New York Magazine. Where was it? This was Newsday, I think. Katie Helper is the writer of this article. MSNBC made a handy graphic for a poll on July 7th showing the 2020 matchups against Trump among Democratic voters. The list was in descending order of candidates' polling numbers, except for Bernie Sanders, whose name is placed under Warren's and Harris's, though he polls higher than both of them. And they includes a photo of that graphic.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders is next to the bottom, and he is Liz Warren and Kamala Harris are tied at 48, and right under them in the stacking is Bernie Sanders at 49.
Yeah.
You know, so the result was that Sanders goes from second to third place. Lest you think that this is an isolated incident, MSNBC's Steve Kornacki placed Sanders' name below Warren's on July 15th when he was, in quotes, reporting on a poll put out by the Washington Post and MSNBC. Once again, the order of the names is descending by poll numbers except for Bernie Sanders, which was once again placed below everybody else in the poll. The same order is used on Online Stories headline, which says Trump trails Biden, Warren, and Sanders in new MSNBC poos. But it gets worse. It was misleading to have Sanders' name after Warren's in the graphic, but an absolute error or lie to say Warren was second, which Kornacki, who was talking about a poll conducted by his own company, did. I had to rewatch the video to make sure I wasn't missing something, but Kornacki does indeed say Elizabeth Warren, she's been running in second place. She is running second on the Democratic side. She leads Trump by 5 points. And then Kornacki shows the person who is actually in second place by saying Bernie Sanders, he leads by 7 points. And now this shit goes on all the fucking time. I would love to have a listen. Now, the criticism actually was against the Washington Post. And the Washington Post came out with an editorial rebuttal of how dare you even think that we would be prejudiced.
A rebuttal against MSNBC or against Bernie Sanders?
Oh, this is against Bernie Sanders. So the complaint that he made was, first of all, against the Washington Post. So let's see if the Washington Post is also prejudiced against Bernie Sanders. During the 2016 presidential election, the 2020 presidential primary, the Washington Post has published plenty of articles that feature bias against Bernie Sanders. I have a list. Let's have a look. On July 1st, the Washington Post, Glenn Kessler fact-checked Sanders when he said 3 families in the United States control more wealth than the body 50%. He claimed the comparison was not especially meaningful because many of those people were too poor to have wealth, which prompted one Deadspin writer to label...
What?
Yeah, that's right. Which prompted one Deadspin writer to label Kessler an appalling ass-brain. It was the Washington Post that exaggerated a non-scandal in June by reporting a disagreement among unionized staff within the Sanders campaign, even though campaign management was bargaining in good faith. A Washington Post event in July that was partly sponsored by, you know, those progressives over at Bank of America.
Oh yeah. So progressive.
Yeah, a progressive voice for you. The moderator asked Sanders about a statement he made in 1974 about busing policies being well-meaning in theory, but sometimes they result in racial hostility. And the dialogue went like this, I kid you fucking not. What else did I... And I'll do my Bernie Sanders, okay?
Yeah.
What else did I say there? Tell me, Robert Costa replied. No, you've got it there. Read it. Read the whole quote, Sanders insisted. I don't have it, Costa claimed. The whole quote is the federal government doesn't give a shit about African Americans, Sanders said. That is true. That's why I didn't include it, Costa quickly adding. As the dodgy effort that made Sanders seem racially insensitive instantly fell apart because he quoted Sanders out of context on purpose to make him look bad.
And also truncated the old quote, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. In March, Kessler awarded Sanders 2 Pinocchios when he said Wall Street banks got $1 trillion bailout because Sanders included loans from the Federal Reserve Board to banks. Dean Baker of the Center of Economic Policy and Research responded, Sanders seems on pretty solid ground here when including the Fed loans. Over the span of 2 days in February, days after he announced his 2020 campaign, the Washington Post published 4 articles. They were entitled, Bernie Sanders is no big deal the second time around. The second was, why Sanders' money haul doesn't matter very much. The third one was called, Bernie, your moment has come, and gone. And fourth one was, Bernie Sanders is probably just another one-hit wonder. In 2018, Matt Bruenig for Jacobin commented how Kessler was spreading disinformation about Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All plan. Progressive writer Thomas Frank assessed pieces on Sanders that were published between January and May during the 2016 primary season. He found Sanders' pieces took a negative tone by a ratio of 5-1, whereas opinion pieces on Clinton were about evenly split between favorable and unfavorably. Infamously, from 10:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on March 6th, the Post published a total of 16 negative stories about Sanders in 16 fucking hours. Here's a review of the
something is afoot. Something is afoot.
Here's a list of the headlines that the Washington Post has used relating to Sanders, and this is from the Washington Post's own website. Okay, these are the titles to the articles. I love this, and this here it is.
Yeah.
Could I have some top 10 music or something?
Yeah,
or drum roll or something. Here it is. Here it is, Paul. The top 300 ways in which the Washington Post has been rat fucking Bernie Sanders, and here are the articles. Article 1. Bernie Sanders has a low ceiling, but others have room to grow. Article 2.
What does that mean?
Article 2. Bernie Sanders is FDR's unimaginative echo. 3. Sanders can't turn... Yeah, here's the third one. Sanders likely can't turn it around, but Biden can. Here's how. 4. Yes, I want to pay off my student loans. 5. Bernie Sanders has emerged as the Donald Trump of the left. 6. Is Bernie? These are titles to articles. Is Bernie Sanders serious? 8. The threat of Bernie Sanders. 9. Dear Bernie Sanders, welcome to the 1%. 10. Bernie Sanders is now a millionaire. Can he still speak for the American working class? 12. Revolution stalled. Bernie Sanders struggles against the double bind. I'm running out of breath here. The next one. For Bernie Sanders, 2016 gets in the way of 2020. Here's another one. Bernie Sanders' week goes from bad to worse. Here's another one. Are Democrats going to let Bernie Sanders get away with this? Democratic socialists can't hide in their shallowness. And the final one, Paul. Online agitator leftist knows it all. Is the Bernie bro back?
Honestly. Yes.
No. The Post is totally a progressive beacon.
Yeah. I'm sorry. That That just really makes me angry.
Oh, it should.
You're going to hear.
It should.
I've got a wonderful segment I'm going to do later, which has Bernie had a little private TV channel, and
right,
in 1980, and he's exactly consistent.
Well, listen, let me tell you something that how shameless these fucking people are. Chris Kinsella, another douchebag over at CNN, said in response to this thing about the Washington Post being somehow prejudiced against Bernie Sanders, said this. Earlier this week, Bernie Sanders took a good amount of flack, and rightly so, for suggesting that because he had been openly critical of Amazon not paying taxes, he was getting less than favorable coverage from the Washington Post.
Oh, that's right. It's owned by Bezos, isn't it?
No, yeah. Chris Kinsella, fuck you.
But isn't the Washington Post owned by Jeff Bezos? Who owns Amazon? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
didn't pay any taxes. And you know, Bernie mentions that a lot. I don't think Jeff kind of likes Bernie all that much.
No, he's probably got his other. That's why he told the editorial board of his newspaper.
Yeah.
Let's rat fuck this.
This is rat fuck this son of a bitch.
Brooklyn Jew.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I know I'm flogging a dead horse, but as I was
you can always flog it one more time.
Oh, yes.
That's an old saying.
That's an old saying.
How many times can you flog a dead horse?
For my adolescence.
One more time.
Okay, there's one last thing. It was my pleasure while we were doing some reading for this kind of story that I got to read the wonderful musings of Froma Harrop over in Newsday. She's did an editorial for
That sounds
Newsday.
like a skin condition. What's her name again?
Froma Harrop. No. It's a fine name, Froma. Bernie, and this is her response to the entire thing. She as well was just offended to think that maybe the Washington Post was prejudiced. I don't know, but here it is. Her article from August 17th, and I listen. This is from Froma to you.
Yeah.
Okay. And the headline reads: Bernie Sanders needs a shot of dignity.
What?
Okay, wait, it gets better. I have never been a big fan of Bernie Sanders. Okay, go on. I know where this is going. His authoritarian tendencies and aggressive attacks on any who would disagree have outweighed the good in him. The good in his working class voice emphasizes on economic issues and some solid ideas, but his recent lashing out at the Washington Post, where he accused this is what she said, the Washington Post, where he accused the progressive beacon. The Washington Post is a progressive beacon owned by the richest guy in the guy who doesn't pay any taxes
in the whole world.
But his recent lashing out, this is crazy, carried an air of populist paranoia. Yeah, we're just paranoid.
Yeah.
So much. And this is what I love. This is when I sniffed who she really was. So much he's being likened to Donald Trump. No, he's not. You're the first one who ever said that to me.
What? That Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump are similar?
No, and I have not heard anybody except Hillary supporters who still were so fucking pissed that compared Bernie Sanders to Donald Trump. No one sane does that. Only an idiot does that. Because so Froma, I'm sitting there reading and going, okay, what did you do in 2016? I just want to go on with just a little bit. Because this gets more hilarious. This is Sanders' day in the sun was the 2016 presidential race when he seriously challenged Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton for the party nomination. That day is in the past. And I found out, I got to find out about this girl. Okay, so she's generally liberal and left of center. She's known for her unconventional approach and her libertarian streak. The Heartland
As in
Institute,
Jill Stein.
Yeah, no. The Heartland Institute, a right-wing think tank, has called her their favorite lefty. She's a former business editor from the New York Times, and she's also a contributor to the Progressive Populist. Then I thought to myself, okay, let's check out, does she have any relations with the Clinton campaign in 2016? Well, listed on the Clinton website of columnists, commentators, and political satirists that all really like Hillary, Paul Begala, Kevin Drum, Thomas Friedman, and right there in the bottom, from a harem. So then I said, what kind of article would she write after the election? So I went back to the election, and I found this. It's really hard when you read something and you just absolutely know what you're dealing with. Here it is.
Yeah.
This is from December 8th, 2016. This is from his little artwork that she portrayed at the pages of Newsday.
Yeah.
Get it. Strap in. Here it is.
I'm strapped in.
Okay. It's titled Hillary Clinton. Could I have some violins, please?
Like the little ones that you just do with your finger, your thumb and forefinger. Yeah, the little tiny ones.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Here it is. Hillary Clinton, Martyr of the Year by Froma Harrop. Here it is.
What was she martyred for?
Here you go. I'm about to read it.
Yeah.
Here it is. Okay. She says, documentaries, plays, and grand operas will be written about what was done to Hillary Clinton in the election of 2016. Some normal mistakes were mixed in with her many accomplishments, but there was nothing normal about her treatment by political foes and many of the respectable media alike. The gang up on Clinton amounted to political torture, the likes of which will be remembered for generations. And that makes Hillary Clinton a martyr of the year.
That is...
this one, here we go. It gets better. All right. Come the nominating process, Clinton endured the drowning test by which the left wing habitually torments centrist Democrats. In witch trials, the woman is tied up and thrown in the water. If she sinks, she's deemed innocent and pulled out from drowning. Bernie Sanders held her down for the longest time. The Sanders campaign was not an ordinary challenge for the Democratic nomination, but a war to annihilate the ideologically impure. The man to this day has refused to release his tax returns, smeared Hillary as a toady of billionaires because she gave some paid speeches to Wall Street.
Oh, no. But he has released his tax return.
You're right. It's not because you had the worst candidate in the world. It's not because you're so arrogant that you guys were sitting there measuring the drapes. And Bernie is not anti-feminist.
Yeah.
Okay? Froma, you're deluded with a venal hatred of Bernie Sanders because you didn't get your little red truck.
Yeah.
You didn't get your red truck, and you were promised
I wonder what she would
truck.
have. What was she holding out for in Hillary's regime? Like press secretary or something?
Oh yeah.
Is that what she was after?
Yeah, absolutely. So Froma, evidently, still carrying some baggage from that election, eh, Froma?
I think so.
That's too bad. You know, and I can pick the articles that are written by the Clinton people.
Yeah.
And they're all over the place.
Yeah.
You don't see this
and they're
shit
still
coming
they're
out.
still doing it. I mean,
They're still doing it. And they're doing it in the guise of being at the media.
Yeah.
She's at Newsday. These are establishment reporters. Where has she worked? She was business editor of the New York Times.
Yeah.
And then she worked for Vanity Fair. And then she went over and worked for Newsday.
Yeah.
And she actually contributed to the Washington Post. These guys are the establishment media, folks.
And they don't like Bernie.
And they don't like Bernie. A woman who would feel secure being on the same list with fucking Thomas Friedman.
Yeah.
Fuck
As
me.
Hillary sycophants, yeah.
Yeah. I am sick of the whole damn thing. I think that what the Democratic Party is in danger of doing now is antagonizing their base again. Because
and the base has already said, don't do it. Sure. Don't do it. We'll walk away.
And they will.
Yeah.
It's the reason she lost.
Yeah.
The base didn't come out, dude.
Yeah.
And now they're going about rat fucking Bernie again.
And the base has said, we'll walk right away from you. Yeah.
Look, Bernie may not win. Okay? In an honest thing, I think you're underestimating him terribly.
Yeah.
But I know one thing. Either Bernie Sanders or Liz Warren are now on top. And Biden has only been in this race for, what, a microsecond?
Yeah. But I hope Bernie and Liz Warren form a united front.
That'd be very interesting.
I think so, too, because I think it would be
you may need a united front to get around the media bias and the crap that's
and they're not stupid. They're not stupid. Liz Warren would make a great Speaker of the House and all that sort of stuff.
No. I think, I don't know what the future brings.
Yeah.
But I'm very, very proud that, look, the reason people are voting for those ideas and the reason that Warren and Sanders kicked ass at that debate and the reason that Bernie Sanders went on Fox News, got a standing ovation, is the fact that your base likes these ideas.
Yeah, of course they do.
And they're telling you what they want over and over again. And the establishment Republicans and the media who have huge vested interest in making sure that no one like Bernie Sanders ever goes near policy are going to throw everything at him, and Warren too. I think they can sit still for Warren. They think they can manipulate her. They're wrong.
They are wrong.
They are wrong. Anyway, that's my rant.
That's great, Bill. Let's go. Let's go home. I'm.
Okay, so
let's go home. It's like 50 minutes.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that. But listen,
okay.
we're gonna take a break and have some comedy.
I thought we were going to talk about a couple more things.
We are, and then we'll be back in a moment. We're going to play that clip you brought in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The Trevor Noah one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we have some comedy?
Yes, we do. And we'll be back in just one moment.
Oh, 2 moments, please.
Say to you, we have nothing to fear but fear itself. And spiders, little hairy ones with those legs. And my mother-in-law's enormous. But I'll tell you what Eleanor and I do like. We like the Bill Show with Bill and Randy. Yes, we laugh, we cry, and we're kind of glad we're dead. So if you want to support the Bill Show, please go to thebillshow.net. Everything Bill Show in one place. And you can just press the Patreon button, and you can give them money so they can buy microphones and beer. Come along, Eleanor.
We're Betty Bowers, and we're going to show you both sides of the gun debate. I'm pro-gun. I bet you say you're pro-life, too. The NRA speaks for a majority of Americans. No, the NRA speaks for a handful of gun manufacturers. It has 5 million members. Funny, Wayne LaPierre bragged about the same number 5 years ago after Sandy Hook, and then again this year after Parkland. So either it's just the NRA's favorite fake news or membership is shockingly stagnated. It's still a lot of people. It's not even 2% of America, and fun fact, it's not even true. You don't know that. The actual number is secret. And with good reason. You know what tipped me off that NRA membership is a lot lower than they claim? When Delta revealed how many passengers had taken advantage of their NRA discount, 13. You could fit all of them in your Gulfstream. The NRA is a fellowship of hunters. Well, it started off that way, but now it's just a legislative extortionist. It bullies politicians to protect the people who sell guns instead of the people whose lives are ruined by them. Why do you think it lobbied for immunity for gun manufacturers but not owners? People with guns are less likely to be killed. People with access to guns at home are nearly twice as likely to be murdered. The right to own guns is in the Constitution. Well, so is the right to own slaves. The right to bear arms is an absolute right. There are no absolute rights. You have the right to free speech but can't slander. You have the right to practice your religion but can't do human sacrifices. Okay, so just as long as you don't hurt other people. Assault is in the name. The A in AR-15 stands for Armalite, not assault. It's the assault that makes it an assault weapon, not the name. Great trivia, though. If you're going to ban things that kill people, then why not ban cars? Cars are banned. If you're underage or get your license taken away, yes, you have to have a license to drive a car but not shoot a gun. And to get that license, you have to take a test, buy insurance, and cars only kill incidentally. Killing is the only thing an AR-15 is good for. Look at all the shootings in Chicago. Gun control never works. There really is no such thing as state or city gun control. We don't have border crossings, so anyone can just drive the guns in from the nearest place with less gun control. We shouldn't pass laws that interfere with people's personal liberty. Tell that to your uterus. If you ban guns, only criminals will have guns. If you ban heroin, only criminals will have heroin. What I'm saying is that gun laws are pointless because criminals will ignore the laws. That's what makes them criminals. And with that logic, why have any laws? Congress knows that gun control doesn't work. Congress knows that it works well enough to ban guns from Congress. Parkland was caused not by guns, but by the FBI not responding to a tip. Here's a tip. The FBI isn't the thread that links America's mass shootings. Las Vegas, Orlando, Virginia Tech, Sandy Hook, Sutherland Springs. Almost 200 people killed by guns. Not filing errors. The gun doesn't kill, the person shooting it kills, so don't ban the gun. The anthrax doesn't kill, the person mailing it does, so don't ban anthrax. Gun deaths are the price we pay for our freedom. No one should sacrifice a real child just so you can be a fake John Wayne. It violates the constitutional rights of 18-year-olds not to be allowed to buy guns. You know, the Second Amendment doesn't mention age, so why don't you support the right of 2-year-olds to carry concealed weapons? The Constitution is frozen. There were no gay marriages when it was written. Bet there were. But I can guarantee that there were no AR-15s. The point I'm making is that you can't change the Constitution. The Second Amendment is a change to the Constitution. That's why it's called an amendment. The 13th Amendment was a change to the Constitution. It banned slavery. The 18th Amendment was a change to the Constitution. It banned alcohol. The 21st Amendment was a change to the Constitution. It banned the 18th Amendment. It was all written to be changed. As Justice Scalia, may he rest in glory, said, we can't let activist judges be the ones to change it. Nobody was a bigger activist judge than Scalia, may he rest in hell. He trashed almost 200 years of Second Amendment law and ignored its actual wording. Well regulated, anyone? It will be a cold day in that hell when you take my guns away. Girl, calm down. Even the assault rifle ban only stopped future sales. The only people who talk about taking away guns is the NRA. Not because it's true, but because it stimulates gun sales. Guns don't kill people. Well, they certainly seem to help. People kill people. Yes, but a lot more slowly with knives. We need to arm teachers. In the past 30 years, not one mass shooting by a civilian with a gun has been stopped by another civilian with a gun. The only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. You're not listening. That's not a solution. It's a sales pitch. There was a police officer with a gun inside the Pulse nightclub and armed people both inside and outside Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. Then we need to look at the effect of video games. Yes. Let's look at anything but Guns. Here's the thing. Japan has no gun violence. Pretty sure they watch video games. It's not a gun issue. It's a mental health issue. No, it's a people with mental health issues with guns issue. A paranoid person isn't going to paranoid school children to death, but a paranoid person with a gun might. Mental illness is still the issue. People suffer from mental illness in every country in the world. Only America has mass shootings every week. Okay, I'd be in favor of stopping the mentally ill from having guns. Funny you'd say that, as depriving 20% of Americans of guns would be the biggest form of gun control in history. There aren't that many mentally ill people in America. Have you been on Twitter? You just can't do anything about guns. Said no civilized country in the world. Except America. Okay, you caught me. They give me such ridiculous talking points. But you're still going to say them, aren't you? You really don't know how America works.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times, because it's time once again for Randy's Rant.
Hello, Randy.
Oh, William. And by the way, that was my good friend, Mrs. Betty Bowers, America's best Christian.
Yes, I've seen her on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, she's actually Canadian.
And
she's actually Canadian, and she's strikingly beautiful.
Yes.
Her name is Devon Green.
Name is Devon
Green. Yeah, and she's Canadian,
and I bet she's I bet she's really nice, because all those Canadians are really nice.
Oh yeah, they're really nice, but she does some biting satire.
Oh yes.
And anyway, that was Betty Bowers, Mrs. Betty Bowers, and I just think she's one of the great satirists who have risen during the
Randy Rainbow who's
been going now for a fair few years. He was profiled just recently on CNN, and I'm going to get a copy of that, and we'll play it next show.
Oh, fantastic. That's
now,
good. Okay, what? Yes, what have you got? What?
I don't have my pasties on.
I don't know.
They lost their stick. They lost their sticky. I don't know what to do.
Because you're a fat, sweaty white guy.
No, but they lost their sticky, so I can't.
Because you're a fat, sweaty white guy.
Yeah, that's true. But and also they used to pull all the hairs off too.
Ow.
Now,
okay.
Okay. Now you know what? I tried to find a single thing to rant about this week.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't.
Really?
I couldn't even count them on two hands. Donald Trump was on fire this week.
Oh,
unfortunately, it wasn't the right kind.
Yes. As in Reel 2 of the Towering Inferno.
Yeah, he was just doing the most fucking outrageous stuff. So I made a little list. Okay. I've got a little list, like Gilbert and Sullivan.
Okay.
And I just thought we'd go through it. Of course,
okay.
He doesn't know who Brian Epstein is anymore.
No, I have no idea. Brian,
I have no idea. I did not know him.
I have no idea.
I did not know him.
I don't recall.
And he keeps dropping all these conspiracy hints that it was actually the Clintons.
I think it was the Clintons. It was the
Clintons who run pedophile pizza parlors.
Let me tell you something.
I mean, it's not a great name for a pizza parlor.
No,
Domino's is better. But
did you catch the cartoon I saw the other day from a newspaper that said Republican view of the world, and there's a drawing of Dealey Plaza, and behind the fence is Bill and Hillary.
Yeah, she did it all.
You know, you can't. And, it's raining. Oh, that Clinton. Jesus, I hate when she causes
it's all
that.
her. Yeah, it's like blame Obama for everything.
Yeah,
and of course they're blaming Hillary for everything.
Yeah,
it's gotten past a joke. I mean, the guy's been in for 2.5 years now.
Yeah,
he can stop blaming Obama, and he takes credit for things from Obama.
Yeah, he does.
And his supporters blame Obama for Cyclone Katrina.
Yeah. Well, no.
Now, can you work that out? Can you work that out?
It's the Borg, man. They are the Borg. They are. Every time I see these guys interviewed, I go, I'll bet you. Here's the strange thing, that I bet you if you were of the right shade, and something was wrong, your hurricane blew away your house. Yeah. On that level, I'm sure that these people are the nicest people in the world. But you know what? So were the Germans.
Yeah, they were lovely.
Oh, they were lovely to each other. Yeah,
they make lovely sausages and stuff. But the point is,
go ahead.
Is Katrina was 2 years before Obama was president.
I know.
And
that was George Bush.
And they say, well, anyway, he was out playing golf that day.
Yeah.
And they show a picture of Tiger Woods because from a distance, Tiger Woods and Barack Obama kind of look a bit the same.
Yeah.
I mean, these people are ridiculous.
Yes.
And I don't know how they can live with themselves and believe this shit.
Okay, what's next on your list?
Oh, well, again, Trump claiming some of Obama's successes. He wanted to have a rally in Philadelphia at the new Shell petroleum plant.
Oh,
that! He said, I built this factory. He says.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Of course, it was done before he became president.
But wasn't that the one where the Shell employees were like told to go there?
You go or you don't get paid.
I got great crowds. I got great crowds. You know how you get great crowds? Extortion. That's how you get.
And if they protested, they would not get paid.
Oh God! And that's true.
They were not allowed to go to work. Yeah, they would lose their pay.
You know, when he announced for president, half of that crowd was paid to be there. Half of the crowd was paid to be there. It was rent a crowd. Literally, they were paying people off the street.
But they're actually finding ads in the paper 2 or 3 days before he gets to a place.
Yeah.
Asking for actors.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine that audition? Like, there's an out-of-work English actor who
Trump supporter.
Yes, comes in. Hello, yes. I work for the Royal Shakespeare Company. Last thing I did was Hamlet, Macbeth, and Long Day's Journey into Night. So what will I be doing? You'll be a Trump supporter? Oh, really? All right. Let me try. Howdy. How ye? Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Surprise. Hey, Colonel. Hey, Sergeant. Sergeant.
I just dig the idea of Sir Laurence Olivier playing a Trump supporter. Is this a beer I see before me?
Out! Damn spot.
Where is the remote control?
Out!
Okay.
Out!
Yeah.
Okay, next. At one of his rallies, he told somebody to get that guy out of here. Oh, he's fat. He's so fat.
Yeah.
Look at how fat that guy is.
By the way, look who's talking.
He's even fatter than me. And like, don't be at my rallies. You should go home and do some exercise.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. And then,
anyway,
what did they find out about the guy?
Well, not only was he a Trump supporter, and Trump actually rang him up personally 2 days later and apologized. Now,
I apologize.
That's not widely known, but he actually did that.
You're not a fat shit. It's true. I'm sorry. By the way, you know what's ironic about that is that if you ever catch those shots of Trump playing golf in whites or playing tennis is even more fun.
Well, what color is that white? I think it's whale blubber white.
Yeah, it's whale blubber white.
Yeah.
So it's like this huge mastodon of flab.
Okay, now the next
snorting
thing,
Adderall. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Okay, the next thing in my rolling rant against Donald Trump is he wanted to buy Greenland. Now, Greenland is an enormous island off of Canada. It's not small. It's not like Iceland. It's huge, but it only has about 15,000 people living there. And he says to Denmark, it'd make good sense for you to sell that to us. And I'm thinking, does he want to? I mean, we stopped doing that when we bought Alaska from the Russians for
the Louisiana
$17 million
purchase.
and some old battleships, which all got sunk by the Japanese anyway. So I'm thinking, why does he want that? Well, it's because he does actually believe in climate change.
Yeah, that's what we said.
And and the permafrost is depermafrosting.
Yeah.
So he's going to have a nice place to go and retire.
Yeah.
Now, they said, okay, but you have to sell us Kentucky. And Trump said, no, it's already been sold.
Yeah, we sold that to Moscow. Sorry.
Moscow Mitch bought Kentucky.
Yeah, we're selling parts of the president. Yeah.
Boom, boom. Okay, now another one.
Yeah, the one. Go for it.
Two of the four people in the squad are Muslims. One of them wanted to go and visit her grandmother on the West Bank of Israel. She was going to go. She had the ticket. She had the visa.
Yeah.
And then Trump stepped in and said to Netanyahu, his good buddy, don't let them in your country.
Yeah.
These people are nothing. They don't want Israel. He said all kinds of stuff. Now, of course, Netanyahu, to do the right thing for his good friend Donnie, banned them from coming to Israel. Banned two elected American congresswomen. Now, talk about biting the hand that feeds you. We give $10 million per day to the state of Israel for their health care, for their airplanes, for colleges, everything. They get all the stuff America should have, but we pay for it.
Oh, you're being anti-Semitic. Stop it.
No, I'm not. No, they're saying if you're anti-Zionist, now being a Zionist and being a Jew or pro-Israel are different things. Zionism is a fanaticism, about the state of Israel. Whatever. I don't want them to come and burn a Star of David on my grass because that would actually have quite a damaging effect.
Well, you're not. I mean, that's the whole thing is that I was watching PBS NewsHour the other night, and some jerker gets on there and said, well, CPAC, the Jewish lobby, has always endeavored to make things non-political. Are you out of your mind? Sheldon Adelson. By the way, the link between Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu?
Yeah,
they're
both
funded to the hilt by Sheldon Adelson. Who do you think Bibi Netanyahu's sugar daddy was?
Yeah,
in Israel, who backed him to the hilt? Whose newspapers basically made it their job to elect Bibi Netanyahu a fucking freak to be prime minister
and last
of
time
Israel.
He didn't look like he was going to get in.
No, this guy's a look. We're talking bribery. He's a crook. He's a fucking crook.
Here's my last one. All
right, go ahead.
The Statue of Liberty, which the French gave us, to celebrate the bicentenary in 1876, but it was actually erected in 1883, and it was called the New Colossus, not the Statue of Liberty. And she has a poem. That was written for her.
All right.
Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. So it was the symbol of American liberty lighting the world when people came through the heads into the Sound and up towards Ellis Island. They actually saw the torch and everything like that because it's all lit up. And they've decided, or Trump's immigration guy decided, we're going to change that poem now.
What?
They've changed. They've eliminated the poem. The Statue of Liberty is no longer got that on it or something.
What?
They've linked the poem to immigration.
No, but I think they couldn't shoot. It's on the scroll, isn't it?
Right?
Yeah. Well, they're not
on Wednesday.
chiseling it
On a
off.
Wednesday,
Huh?
On Wednesday, this last Wednesday, White House aide Stephen Miller gave an impassioned defense of the Trump administration's decision to embrace a plan that would cut legal immigration to half within the next decade.
Yeah.
And part of it is that, keeping with American tradition, you won't be quoting the poem by Emma Lazarus anymore. Mr. Miller said it doesn't say anything about being able to speak English, yeah. So anyway, look, fuck them. They want to have their
right.
They want to eliminate these poor people coming to America and say, well, Emma Lazarus's poem was about people coming from Europe, not from Mexico or Central America.
That's the difference,
So,
you see.
Give me your masses, give me your tired, give me your poor. We're talking about white people, is what.
Did
this
you
Mr.
ever
Miller
notice
said.
you never really have a wall facing Canada?
Well, no, the Canadians are going to have
What's the difference
one
between the people in Canada and the people in Mexico? Well,
but Americans are going both directions to get cheap health care and cheap pharmaceuticals.
you know who I want to keep out of the country? Dutch people.
Who? Oh, the cheeseheads, those clogwobs.
Those
Get rid of them.
cloggers, man, they're the causing all the trouble. Yeah, I know. Running
and
around.
all the Puritans, in
with their windmills,
in Boston and New York. Yeah,
Ah, God,
New Amsterdam.
Oh, those
yeah.
Dutch. God damn it.
Yeah,
Pasty
now,
white.
So, give me your tired, give me your poor, give me your huddled masses as long as they're white.
Yeah, as long as they're white.
Okay, that's the end of my
Rolling rant. You know, I feel ranted. I feel thoroughly ranted.
We're up to 60. We're up to 60 minutes.
Oh, right. Oh my God, we are. Well, listen. We want to thank you for tuning into this.
Yeah, we should go. I'm not gonna say any more.
No, you don't have to say any more. That's all right. We're just going to say we're going to say goodbye. What is it? You sound like Jimmy Stewart.
Well, no.
Okay.
Clarence.
Yeah, Zuzu's pedals. So
now I wanted to play my good friend Trevor Noah, but I'll save him for next week.
We'll save him for next week. Guys, thank you for tuning into our little program. We are, of course...
thank you, and thank you, Willie, for allowing me to be involved.
Oh, allowing you. Come on. We have fun. This is fun.
It is the Bill Show. It is the Bill Show.
I said we could make it the Bill and Randy's show, but you said don't mess with the brand.
Don't fuck with the brand, yeah. That's what comes from working for 30 years on Bullshit Boulevard. Don't fuck with the brand.
Don't fuck with the brand, because we're a big pull. But I'll tell you something. I was amazed. I was amazed in the last 24 months, over 1,400,000 people have decided to listen to us. Now
they didn't,
maybe you cut that in half. I don't know, but it's a lot of damn people. And
it certainly is, Ollie.
Thank you very much.
It certainly is.
We're passing 60,000 downloads on our website over at Podbean. Well, that's about it. We have had a very good time with y'all tonight, and you've listened to Randy's rolling rant and my
rolling rant.
And by the way, if you want to reach us, you can reach us over the Bills on XBR at gmail.com, or you can go to thebillshow.net. Everything Bill Show in one place. And of course, Randy, as you know, there's a patron button there, and people can sponsor us.
Yeah, please do.
Please, sir. Could I have a copper?
I'm tired. I don't want Bill begging anymore.
it's not
becoming.
Okay, guys, listen, we're going to hit the road with our new closing theme. We love you all. We'll see you next time.
I love you. Love you, Bill.
Love
see
you
ya.
back, Randy, and we'll love you guys and see you next time. Bye-bye.
I can't walk to my car late at night while on the phone. I can't open up my windows when I'm home alone. I can't go to the bar without a chaperone. I can't wear a mini skirt if it's the only one I own. I can't use public transportation after 7 p.m. I can't be brutally honest when you slide into my DMs. I can't go to the club just to dance with my friends. And I can't ever leave my drink unattended. But it sure is scary time for boys. Yeah, gentlemen, band together, make some noise. It's really tough when your reputation's on the line. And any woman you've assaulted could turn up anytime. Yeah, it sure is scary time for guys. Can't speak to any woman or look her in the eyes. It's so confusing. Is it rape or is it just being nice? So inconvenient that you even have to think twice. I can't live in an apartment if it's on the first floor. I can't be wearing silk pajamas when I answer the door. I can't have another drink even if I want more. And I can't make you feel invalid, unseen or ignored. I can't jog around the city with headphones on my ears. I can't speak out against my rapist after 35 years. I can't be taken seriously if I'm holding back tears. And I can't ever speak earnestly about all these fears. Cause it sure is scary time for dudes. Can't text a girl repeatedly asking for nudes. Can't make a girl have sex when she's not in the mood. And what gives her the right to give you attitude? Yeah, it sure is scary time for men. Girls like to act like you're to blame and they're the victim. Her dress was short and she was drunk, she's not so innocent. Thank God your dad's the judge and you won't be convicted. Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, 'cause it's not such a scary time for boys. They've always had the upper hand, they've always had a choice. It's time for women to rise up, use our collective voice. The date of vote's November 6th, so let's go make some noise. Go vote.